Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're jumping into something really fundamental, I think, to all of us. How do we have those truly essential conversations in our closest relationships?
That's such a key question, isn't it? Because, so much of our time is spent on the day-to-day stuff.
Right, the logistics.
Exactly. Logistics, who's doing what happened at work. But carving out that specific time to really explore, what's going on inside our partner's world, that's different.
It really is. And that's exactly what we're focusing on in this deep dive. We're looking at a research-backed way to strengthen that connection, using insights from the book 8 Dates, Essential Conversations for a Lifetime of Love.
Ah, yes, the Gottman book.
Well, Gottman and others, it's about exploring why these intentional, structured conversations can be, well, so powerful.
And it's built on some serious foundation. You've got Doctors John and Julie Gottman. I mean, their names are almost synonymous with the relationship research, right? 40 years, thousands of couples studied.
Decades of work.
Yeah. And they teamed up with Doug Abrams and Dr. Rachel Carlton Abrams.
Mm.
So it's this real blend of deep research and practical application.
And the core idea they came up with is pretty compelling. Using date nights not just for fun, though hopefully they are fun,
Hopefully.
but strategically, using them to really get to know each other better, not just the easy stuff, the similarities, but also digging into, how you each think, feel, and even where you differ.
Which is crucial. And
Yeah.
the way this whole idea started is actually quite interesting, too. It wasn't just the authors sitting in a room brainstorming randomly.
Oh,
No, it apparently came out of a think tank, a group specifically looking at how to support relationships better, like on a national level. They were asking these big questions about what really helps couples today.
wow. Okay. So a bigger mission from the outset.
Yeah, exactly. A really ambitious goal.
Yeah.
And this collaboration, the Gottmans and the Abrams, seemed like the perfect team to figure out something practical.
And what was their specific aim with the book?
They wanted to create something structured, but also enjoyable. Something fun, even, that could genuinely help couples connect more deeply. And apparently, they even share their own dating stories during the planning.
Oh, that's a nice touch. Adds a layer of realness to it.
It does, yeah. Shows they were bringing their whole selves to it.
But it wasn't just personal stories driving this, was it? You mentioned the Gottman's research background. They actually tested these date ideas.
Oh, absolutely. This is where their scientific side really kicked in. They didn't just, guess which topics would be good. They developed an initial set of date concepts, things they thought might be important.
Like a prototype set of dates.
Sort of, yeah.
Yeah.
And then they did a proper study. They got 300 couples.
300. That's quite a few.
It is. And they had these couples actually go on these potential dates using specific prompts. And crucially, they audio recorded the conversations.
Whoa. Okay. So they could really analyze what was happening.
Exactly. They listened to the quality of the talk, the topics, the emotions, and got feedback from the couples afterwards.
And I'm guessing not every date idea was a roaring success.
Not even close. That's one of the really interesting findings they shared. Some of the dates they initially designed were, the book calls them complete duds.
Huh. Okay. That's refreshingly honest.
Isn't it? It showed that just setting aside time isn't enough. The focus of the conversation really matters.
Do you remember any examples of a dud date?
Yeah, the one they specifically mentioned was a date focused entirely on work, just talking about jobs, careers, challenges at the office.
Okay. I can see how that might fall flat for a date night.
Right. The couples found it, boring. It didn't really foster intimacy or deep understanding. It just felt like, more the same daily grind talk.
That makes total sense. It really highlights that you need the right kind of conversation, the right prompts, maybe.
Precisely. So they took all that data, the recordings, the feedback, what worked, what bombed, and they sifted through it. They identified the specific themes and structures that couples actually loved, the ones that consistently led to feeling more connected and understood.
And that's how they landed on the final 8 dates in the book.
Exactly. These weren't just pulled out of thin air. They were the ones that survived the testing process, the ones proven, essentially by those 300 couples, to be effective for sparking meaningful dialogue.
Okay, so it's research tested. Now, who is this really for? The title mentions a lifetime of love, which might make you think it's mainly for, I don't know, couples hitting a rough patch after 20 years.
Yeah, that's a really important point the authors make. While it's definitely helpful for long-term relationships, they stress it's valuable at any stage.
Yeah, any stage, even right at the beginning.
Absolutely. In fact, in their study of those 300 couples, a pretty big chunk, 37%, the book says were in brand new relationships.
Really? 37%. So what were they getting out of it?
For them, it was almost like an accelerator,
Yeah.
a way to quickly get past the surface stuff and really figure out, are we compatible? Do our core values align? What's the potential here for something lasting? It helped them gauge that deeper fit.
That's actually a brilliant use case for early dating. Instead of just hoping you stumble across important topics, you intentionally explore them.
Exactly. But of course, the majority of couples had been together for a while.
Right. The other 60-something%, what was the benefit for them? Rekindling.
It was definitely about deepening intimacy, but also something else the authors highlighted: keeping up with each other.
Keeping up. What do you mean by that?
Well, people change over time, don't they? Our views shift,
Hmm.
our dreams evolve, we have new experiences that shape us.
Sure. Hopefully we keep growing.
Right. But in a long-term relationship, it's so easy to think, your partner inside out based on, years of history. You can kind of stop asking the deeper questions.
You operate on assumptions based on who they used to be.
Precisely. You might be relating to the version of your partner from 5, 10, even 20 years ago, not the person they are today. The dates help these established couples to sort of refresh their understanding, to see who their partner is now, and ensure they're still connected to that evolving person.
That's a powerful idea. It counters that complacency that can creep in.
And it connects directly to another key idea they talk about, this concept of a crash course in curiosity.
A crash course in curiosity. I like that.
Me too. It really captures what the dates aim to do. They give you this framework, these prompts, to intentionally be curious about your partner again.
Because maybe that initial effortless curiosity fades a bit. Early on, it's all new and exciting.
Right, maybe fueled by dopamine and novelty. But later, like we said, familiarity can breed assumption, not curiosity.
So the book provides the structure to ask better questions.
Exactly. Questions that go beyond how was your day? Questions about, formative life experiences, core values, dreams, how you both approach conflict, money, sex, fun, spirituality, the big stuff.
Those definitely sound like areas where you could always learn something new no matter how long you've been together.
Absolutely. I mean, think about it. When was the last time you sat down, distraction-free, for maybe an hour or more, just to talk about your individual dreams or your deep-seated feelings about trust or commitment?
Probably not often enough, if we're honest. Those things might only come up when there's a problem.
Right. Or maybe never in a focused way. These dates create that space. And importantly, it's not just about finding where you agree.
Ah, yes. You mentioned the focus on differences earlier. Why is that so central?
Because, well, disagreement and difference are inevitable in any close relationship. We're different people. The goal isn't to eliminate differences, it's to understand them.
Understand why your partner sees things differently.
Exactly. Why does this issue matter so much to them? What experiences shape their perspective? When you approach differences with that kind of curiosity, it builds empathy. It stops disagreements from escalating because you're trying to understand, not just win or prove you're right.
So it's about navigating those differences constructively.
The book argues that truly understanding and respecting differences is actually a cornerstone of long-term love and stability. The dates are designed to help you practice that, exploring different views in a safe, curious way.
Okay, so let's bring this back to you, the listener. As you're hearing this, think about your own main relationship. How often do you consciously set aside time, not just to hang out, but to really explore?
To delve into your partner's inner world, their thoughts right now, their feelings, hopes, fears, the dreams they might not even mention day to day.
It's a challenge for sure with busy lives, but this research really suggests that kind of intentional exploration isn't just, a nice extra. It might be vital.
Yeah, vital for keeping the connection alive and growing, making sure you're relating to the person your partner's becoming and appreciating all of their complexity, especially where you differ.
So wrapping up this part of our deep dive, the big takeaway from 8 dates seems to be the power of structure and intention. Using dedicated time for specific, research-informed conversations is a potent way to deepen understanding.
Whether you're just starting out and figuring things out, or you've been together for ages and want to ensure you're still truly seeing each other.
It really emphasizes that ongoing curiosity isn't just passive. It needs active cultivation, and having a framework can really help make that happen.
Definitely. It gives you the tools to keep learning about each other.
Which leads us to a final thought for you to chew on. If you're not actively, intentionally making space to learn about who your partner is right now, their evolving thoughts, their current dreams, their shifting perspective, are you really connecting with the person they are today? Or are you perhaps stuck relating to a ghost of who they were in the past?